Welcome to this episode of Pizza and People. Today I am hosting Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling. They are a wrestling-based podcast here in Chicago that mixes a bit of improvisation and comedy as well. So here we go. I don't stop chewing.
Come get this order. Pineapple on this pizza. Come at me, dog.
Yeah.
You ain't know shit about this. Get your realtor's license. You ain't know shit about pizza.
Word up.
Two pies. Order up. You know, pizza out my fucking
rules.
face. You know what it is. Come on, let's go. Table 5 needs a Pizza rules everything around me. Supreme with the sausage. Let me get a slice, y'all. Pizza rules everything around me. Supreme with the sausage. Let me get a slice, y'all.
Welcome to another episode of Pizza and People. Today I'm Justin Dodge. I'm sitting down with Chicago's own Marty and Sarah. They're at 50 episodes now. We're going to treat them to some pizza and some fun. So let's get the pizza served up. I don't know how I'm going to get out of the robot dick situation here.
I got this.
Sweet. Tom is going to be...
Bring us the pizza now, we're ready.
Tom, I'm ready for my pizza.
So actually, fun fact, since he's here serving you the pizza, Thomas Birchhere is the one who created this menu and these pizza recipes and all that. Doesn't brag about it a whole lot, but...
Thanks, Tom.
Damn, you just went for 3 slices right off the bat.
Well, I mean, let's all get real here. You know you're gonna go 3. I hate when people grab 1 and then we're in the middle of the episode and they're like, oh, can I get another slice?
That's true.
This is like my maximum possibility, so this is perfect.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
And since we're here, I'll explain what we got. One is a pepperoni with, as Marty liked to explain it to me earlier, big cast pepperoni nipples.
Pepperoni nipples.
Oh, yeah.
The other pizza we got is I don't even remember. What the fuck is the other pizza?
It is Parmesan,
Parmesan
white sauce we do.
garlic white sauce with pork, tomato, and onion and spinach. It's a little bit of...
Thank you.
Our guests always seem to be a little frugal with their requests. I'm not sure if it's like, I don't want to be like a hassle.
Well, you said go nuts.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what nuts means, but I know I always like pepperoni.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with it. That seems to be the answer that I get.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Nutella and banana?
But yeah. Nutella banana pizza.
I'm
That
a
would be
princess. I want dessert pizza.
cool. I want jardinare, but I don't want any oil. With or without a mouthful of food. Explain to our listeners, which is currently myself, Nico, and Tom, how you two met, how this all started.
We met through wrestling. Mm-hmm.
We sort of had known who each other were as comedians in the Chicago comedy scene.
So you guys were already working before you started working together.
We were working on stuff.
Not together, though.
Not together. I had a wrestling podcast with my friend Jen Littlewood, and she was in Toronto at the time, but she's from England, and we would Skype back and forth and talk about wrestling. And you have a podcast still separate from this one.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to start, I wanted to do an all wrestling podcast. And I wanted to have a female co-host because there's not too many of those in the wrestling world.
It's fun. Now I'm starting to meet more female wrestling fans
girl
through
power.
the podcast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I had a buddy who has a podcast, and his name is Dan Friesen, and he has a podcast, and he always calls himself Bogle Jub the White Mystery. And I go, why do you call yourself Bogle Jub the White Mystery? And he goes, it's too hard to explain. Just listen to the episode with Sarah Shockey. So I remember I was driving to Toledo to do comedy, and I downloaded it, and I listened to it, and she was talking about wrestling and her podcast and everything. So I listened to the podcast, and then I had her on my other podcast, Wrestling with Depression, and we just talked, and then it was so fun that I said, do you want to come on back, and we'll just do an all-wrestling episode. And that went really well, and everyone seemed to like her, and then we just kept doing it.
And how long ago was this?
Over a year ago, but
Over
not
a year
a whole
ago.
lot.
Yeah,
It
it was
hasn't
like
even been that long.
March of 2016 was when we really started kicking off with.
The 316 was the first episode, correct?
Yeah.
Nice. It's a good one to do.
good one to
It
do,
all
yeah.
just seemed to work out. Yeah.
Actually, Tom's fiance's birthday is also 316.
Can't
Oh,
So
miss
she's
that's
constantly
great.
dropping the reference to me.
And then you won't forget it.
No, I can't. If I did, she'd be fucking
Or you get a
pissed,
stunner. If you
dude.
forget it, you get a stunner. That's
Mm-hmm.
the law.
Dude, she gives a mean stunner. I'll tell you what. She will stomp a mud hole in your ass. So, you guys already kind of touched upon this. I was going to ask you what your background of expertise is. Seems like you'd already been studying comedy and trying to make media before you two had met.
Yeah, we both had projects, and I did some stuff with some buddies who are wrestlers, some comedy wrestling stuff and things like that. Me and Cole Cabana did a web series called Creative Has Nothing For You,
Oh, really?
which is kind of like the relationship between like a wrestling, like a writer and the talent. And then we did a thing called $5 Wrestling, which is like Mystery Science Theater meets pro wrestling. And then
Unprofessional wrestling.
and then now we do a live show called Unprofessional Wrestling, which is kind of a live version of that.
Yeah. And I started making infomercial joke sketches and videos when I was in middle school.
Okay.
None of them took off. Didn't have YouTube.
No
back
YouTube.
then.
She would have been a YouTube sensation had there
Oh
been YouTube.
man. I came here. I did my last semester of college at Comedy Studies, which is like the second city. It was before they have the 4-year program where you just go and study comedy for 4 years.
But this is at Second City.
It's at Second City,
Okay.
but it's through Columbia, Chicago.
Okay,
So I
went
had all
there.
this like weird like credit jostling, and
Yeah.
then I stayed after that and was doing a lot of improv and writing sketches, and now I'm doing a lot of like art meets writing. I draw on the back of business cards at work, and then I make
Right.
those into little posts.
Well, since you started talking about drawing, illustrations and those characters that you guys make seem to be a pretty large part of your show. Of all the ones that you've made so far, which one is your favorite?
Oh man, I think probably the wrestling heart. The
Okay.
yeah, it looks like a tattoo.
right?
Yep.
The title's the
That's like our
that's this.
us
Oh,
doing
okay.
this.
This
Yeah.
is the
And it's a heart
logo.
around it?
This
Yeah.
one is a separate. It's like a tattoo heart.
It's like the mom heart tattoo.
This
We
is
just put
wrestling in the
there.
middle. And we've made it into pins, and we have T-shirts of it, and it's just such a fun way to like announce to somebody like, "Hey, I'm into this."
Right.
Like,
Yeah. And one
it's-
of the WWE announcers wore it one night on his suit.
Who?
Mike Rome.
Mike Rome.
He looks like Tom Phillips, but he's not Tom Phillips.
Is he
He's,
on like
uh,
NXT or?
No, he's like the
He was
Raw
on last
backstage
night.
guy. He's the Raw backstage.
Oh, okay. He's the one that Jericho always calls Tom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like one day we were watching it, and she's like, "He's wearing the heart pin."
We
I was
didn't
like,
even notice.
"Oh,
Our
shit."
friends texted
Yeah.
us.
So he just bought it without even
I
contacting
think it was
you
put in
guys,
like a
or-
wrestle crate.
Yeah, Lapel makes the pins,
Okay.
and he got it in a wrestle crate, and he had put it on Instagram, and people were like, "Hey, that guy's like WWE," and we were like, "Awesome!" No idea he was gonna wear it, and then
Yeah.
he wore it.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
A nice thing to tell
And it's-
your family at reunions.
It's cool
Yeah.
with Sarah because she's a great artist. So if I ever think of anything and just run it by, she's like, "Got it," and then she
He
can
thought
do
of the
it.
wrestling heart tattoo design, and then what did you also thought for me to draw Macho Man's penis?
Oh, this is the best. So if you ever go, and I have it on my phone, I'll show you. 1 hour tees.
You have Macho Man's penis on?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Even better. No, pro wrestling tees. Who were buddies with the guys there, and their box is a cardboard box and in a black outline. It's Macho Man doing the classic,
Yeah.
just flexing,
City of Chicago in the back.
and then it's just his waist and then nothing else. So I thought it'd be funny if Sarah drew his penis, legs and a penis.
Someone did that at my high school once.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie.
such
It wasn't
a fun
Macho
bit.
Man, but we had like a Viking as our high school mascot.
What a
they
fun
only
bit.
drew
Yeah.
the bottom top half, so they wrote the rest like his dick and his balls. Wrote like class of 06 in there.
Yeah,
I love it. I love
It should have been done.
penis jokes.
yeah.
But in the future, I mean, there's people who graffiti wrestlers out there. If you see it again,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
blow it.
It's great.
Get out there and make
It's
it
great.
happen.
Get out there and draw some penis and balls.
I remember having wrestling figures, and there were times where like thinking like they need nipples, and I was wondering because I'd have a red pen, I'd have a red like Crayola pen. Red Crayola markers were the best for
Well,
blood
the Crayola is it washes
because
off.
it washes off.
See, I used
Actually-
a red Sharpie for the nipples on one of my Barbies, and my brother got mad at me.
See, a
Why would
Sharpie.
he get mad about that?
I would do that, and what you needed to do This is so gross. Like, I think back to it, it's so gross. But, like, what you want to do to get perfect fake blood on your wrestler is first you'd have to, like, lick them a little bit and get them a little wet. And then the marker would look all, like, gooey, like blood.
Yeah.
And then you would suck off the blood when you were done. Because I wasn't going to, like... I could have so easily just went to the sink and turned the sink on. But that rubber and marker, like, I remember being like, not a bad taste.
Not bad.
Not bad.
I bet if you tasted it right now, you would feel very strong.
I would get very nostalgic. Yeah.
We were learning a lot more than I expected to learn today.
This is when this is what happens. We always talk about
weird
body
wrestling.
parts,
Yeah.
romance within wrestling. Get me started on A Christmas Carol. I'll cast everybody in it.
Yeah.
It changes year round.
I told Sarah about how I was a little boy and I used to dress up as a wrestler and I would wear...
Which one?
Well, so this is how it all worked out.
Because I was actually going to ask you if you could be a wrestler,
Oh.
who was your gimmick?
Great question.
So you're already on it.
So as a young boy, I loved all the good guys. They were my favorites.
The baby
Sting,
faces,
Ultimate
yeah.
Warrior, all those guys.
Because at heart, you're good.
Yeah. And I remember really liking Flying Brian. He was one of my favorites, and the Steiner brothers were my favorites. So I'm like, well, gotta have white boots. So I would pull my little white socks up. Those were the boots.
Okay.
And then Brian Pillman would always wear black knee pads, and I didn't have knee pads, so I took my dad's dress socks and cut them, and then made those fashioned into my knee pads. And then I would sometimes wear like bikini brief. But and they had to be colored. I couldn't wear
underwear.
white. If I wore white, like tighty whities, I'd be like, this isn't
wrestling. Yeah.
So I would either wear colored ones. I had a pair of like aqua ones that I always thought were a good look. But then one time I was just like, I wish I had a singlet like the Steiner brothers. And I ended up wearing my mom's bathing suit. And it had like a little, little support for women. And to me, it felt like my chest. And I remember feeling kind of like, yeah, I'm fucking looking good.
You're like
All right.
Sears mom,
I know,
like nipple
I know.
protectors.
So Sarah somehow like made me remember that story. And it's like something I wouldn't normally tell people.
There's no reason to be ashamed because no one will ever look like Scott Steiner because
Never.
even Scott Steiner shouldn't look like Scott
I
Steiner.
just feel like back in the day he was so strong he should have just stopped. Yeah. Like he was so buff back in the day. I don't know.
Well, Sarah, do you have a wrestling character? Have you ever...
I have a dream that I'll be, you can have that. I have a dream that I'm going to be this heel wrestler and my persona is like, woman on vacation who is just trying everything. And I like bought the resort wear and like the big hat. And it's like, well, I was either going to get a tattoo or I was going to wrestle. How hard can it be?
Right. I could see that working, actually.
My friend Paloma Star, the Sriracha Muchacha, said that if there's a time where it's close by and she can't find an opponent, she'll let me job as this resort wear character.
Just a squash match?
Yeah, I'll just come in and I'll yell at everybody for a while and then one bump and just like, oh, this is harder than I expected.
I don't ever want to take... I tell people this all the time and they're saying, I'm not going to protect wrestling and be like, oh, it's fake and real or not. But it's like, all right, if you want to say it's fake... Take one fucking back body bump. Take one, and then get up, go in the corner, and let someone slap you in the fucking chest.
Chop.
Yeah.
And see if you could do that every single night for 300 nights in a row for less money than almost every athlete out there.
I only recently found out that you don't chop like this. People flip it.
Yeah, right at the end. And
Rookie
they open their
mistake,
hand.
apparently.
Trying to argue with me about this. Are you arguing with me about this?
And then I argued with Colt Cabana about why we recently saw Jack Swagger wrestle at AEW.
How was that?
He had the reddest, like, I've never seen a mark this red on a person's chest. And I was like, I have never seen this before. Like, what happened? Did he get hurt? And Colt's like, oh, yeah, if your body's not, like, used to taking hits like that, it gets that red. And I was like, no. But it was, like, really red. He's like, are you saying no to me? And I have been in the business for 20
That was so great.
years.
Are you telling me no?
I was like, I just couldn't believe it. He was, he's adjusting.
So you guys were recently at Backlash in Chicago. My first question about that is, I personally love going to the Rosemont for wrestling. How do you feel about going to the Rosemont?
We actually went to NXT the night before.
Is that at the Rosemont too?
That was at Allstate, yeah. But they had Backlash.
Allstate,
they
I
had
apologize.
Takeover Chicago. No, it's still Rosemont. They had Takeover Chicago. And they had, I thought it was going to be more. There's one in the chamber. You'll just wait and see. It's going to be good.
Russian
Filter
roulette
it.
of birds.
But we went to Allstate the night before Backlash for NXT
Why are you making this into words?
Chicago
my
Takeover Chicago,
favorite.
and that was any like wrestling fan who's like a little what's the word? Well, we call it like a
Knowledgeable?
smark ass. Yeah, like so smarky fan who's like, I know the better night to go. It was Saturday.
Yeah.
And we saw one of the best matches. I've seen some of the best matches at the.
UK
I've been going to
match?
Name
Rosemont
'em.
since I was a kid. I call this the Holy Trinity of the Allstate. You've got Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Mania 13. I was there.
That's awesome.
And then Cena versus CM Punk for Money in the Bank, and then this one with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Those
Yeah.
are just
Amazing.
That was a great match.
So
I think
good.
it's 19 or something like that.
one
right?
is 19
Bate
and one is
19,
23.
and
Yeah,
Pete
Dunne's
Dunne is 23. And we were in the box with some of the 1 Hour Tees buddies that we have, and it was just amazing because you're like enclosed with your friends,
Right.
and then the view's great, and then you can just watch it just light up like around. Like there was this moment where I was like, oh man, we're all like in this together, seeing something amazing. Like there's nothing like live wrestling with a bunch of people when it's going awesome. It's just like, wow, we're all having the best time.
Jinder Mahal has recently become the world heavyweight champion. He's the first Indian native, I believe. He's from India, right?
He's from Canada. Oops.
Well, his character, which they're
You're
promoting,
not protecting the business.
Oh yeah, he's from India.
is from India.
Yeah.
You just remember that he's from India and he works out a
Montreal,
lot.
India. Quebec City, India.
Well, considering the circumstances in which they at least present his character, he's the first Indian, Punjabi, whole fucking thing. How long do you think he's going to hold on to the championship belt, and who is he going to drop it to?
Ooh. Good question.
Well, I
Sarah?
think they are gonna do like a good push to get into India.
Right.
This is our champion. Check this out. And after they do that whole vacation, and if things are going well and they feel like they got India unlocked, he'll come back and lose to
Who's he gonna lose to?
John Cena.
Oh man. I don't know.
America's gonna win again.
I think that Jinder is, if you get real high and watch wrestling, which I like to do, Jinder's like a video game bad guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's say you're playing an old like wrestling video game on like Nintendo or Super Nintendo maybe. He's like the bad guy you'd have to beat at the end.
Like, okay, I got what you're saying. He's more like a Super Castlevania character than he is an actual wrestler.
Yeah, he's just like when he has like the hat on, the turban on.
There's not a lot of
He's got the
depth.
sidekicks and
Yeah.
they roll out a carpet for him. It's all very
Wouldn't it be fun to see him versus Dalton Castle and the boys?
yes.
That would be fun.
Well, the thing that sucks for him is that everybody knows who he used to be. You know, it wasn't long ago that he was playing air guitar with Heath fucking Slater and Drew McIntyre, or whoever it was, in the 3-man band, and he was a complete fucking joke. Meanwhile, you brought up Kevin Owens and AJ Styles and all these other guys, people from NXT who have been busting their ass, and this guy gets a good physique all of a sudden, and now he's the champion.
Hey, I think it's the perfect storm. It was that, and it was. Here's the thing, and I was listening to the wonderful Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer.
He's
I
our
love
friend.
him.
He's
Yeah.
our friend.
We met him at WrestleCon, and he's our friend now.
He's our favorite.
If I could meet him and Jim Cornette, I could die a happy man.
He said that this is like, get ready because this is going to be a new thing. If like one day there'll be a Chinese champion, there'll be, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like we've had it for so long where wrestling was the United States and a guy from Canada went every once in a while.
Right.
But it's like the world is expanding, the globe is, the audience is
Well,
expanding.
it's easier to go places now, and then for
Yeah.
people, you can grow up in Sweden and watch the same network that we watch every week. Like, I feel like the network was really a game changer in terms of a lot of people who used to
Absolutely,
be in
yeah.
it, and then it got hard to keep up with. Now it's easy. You can watch it on your phone. So, like, it is expanding, and yeah,
There's country.
makes
We
sense
we
it'd be
joke
everywhere.
around when they have all the different commentating teams from all the other countries, and we
Oh, yeah.
we have like, think it's funny if
Somebody
like,
always fucks up.
other countries have their own like
their own
angles.
stories where they could just say whatever they want.
Yeah,
True.
There's like Randy Orton's a rapist. Why doesn't anyone care? Like, this guy's a rapist. No one seems to care.
The commentary is so much more eager than ours.
Yeah.
Because of their stories.
Yeah.
Or so we think.
Now that you guys are 50-plus episodes deep, what is the future for Marty and Sarah?
We're going to do more live shows.
Yep. Do more live shows, more like before like the pay-per-views and stuff like that. I think it'd be fun to do some comedy
Yeah,
festivals.
we're going to be on the panel. We're going to be on the panel for WB instead of the guy from Hot 97.
We're taking over Talking Smack.
Instead of
For a
Hot
second, I
97.
got really excited because I thought you were telling the truth.
That would be great.
No, that would be great. I think it'd be fun to... Oh, we're doing a couple more, like, a vendor table at certain shows. There are a couple in Indiana that are coming up where we can go and meet people, and we'll have T-shirts and pins. More drawings. Oh,
More
my
drawings, T-shirts.
We're hanging out with buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of T-shirts and drawings, you guys do have merchandise and things that you sell. You want to take a minute and do just a shameless plug of all your websites and things like that where people can find these items?
You can cover what's lost.
Sure.
Okay. So, T-shirts, prowrestlingtees.com/Marty and Sarah, or rumbleboys.com takes you straight there. Our buddies bought us that handle because we joked about it. That's
Rumble
where
Boys?
I thought
Rumble Boys.
rumbleboys.com for sure, because around the Royal Rumble time we were joking around about a website called Rumble Boys, and I'm like, that's clearly gonna be like gay porn or something. Like, it's gonna be like little men in their underwear getting thrown around or
And
something.
now
And
it's
it's ours.
ours.
So
And luckily for you, there's probably a lot of people looking for what you just
Hopefully
described.
so.
Having to find
and then
you
like,
anyway.
ooh, I'll get a T-shirt.
it would be funny if all of a sudden we're like, maybe we should do that, and that like took off, and it was like, well, originally we were doing a podcast, but now we just have these little guys wrestle in their underwear, and it's way more lucrative.
Rumbleware Boys, yeah.
So you got Pro Wrestling
Yes.
Tees, Rumble Boys.
Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling.com is launching very soon. That's going to have the pins, the T-shirts that we don't want to sell, just in case there's
Lawsuits.
like lawsuits.
We don't want to get sued
street
by
shirts.
any big worldwide
Yeah.
entertaining
To be fair,
company.
anything that's used in a parody
We've
is
heard
fair
that.
use.
But yeah.
So-
I met with a lawyer who's a friend of
You
mine on
guys
Twitter.
are in good shape, frankly.
Yeah.
I'm in good shape, physically and with the podcast. And at Marty Sarah Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling at Gmail if you want to get in touch with him.
That's it.
Facebook.
Facebook.
And Facebook and YouTube. We're on both of those. Just search Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling. And
Sarah with an H.
All right, thanks for watching Pizza and People this week. We got more stuff on the way. If you want to find out where you can see updates for that, go to our Facebook. It's Facebook at Pizza and People. Otherwise, you can click the subscribe button below. Anytime we post something new, it'll come up right in your feed. You can see us on Instagram as well. And as we update our media, we'll keep you guys updated on that as well. Thanks for watching.
Let me get a slice, y'all.